Hello students. So my name is Miras and I am today I will basically going to start a very important topic. So mainly I'm going to start the physics subject, and for starting this physics means I'm going to mainly teach for the JEE Advanced course, and I hope I'll try my best to make you all understand. So for this first today I'm going to start with the basic concept that is required to understand the I can say to solve the problems of physics for the class 11, 12, and for the JEE main, JEE advanced, and for the need those students who are preparing for need as well. So whoever wants to solve the questions of physics, so for that purpose only, first of all, we need to understand a very important and basic concept, that is the mathematical tools. So mathematical tools, what is the concept of mathematical tools? Mathematical tools are mainly like these are some of the tools that we're going to use mainly to solve the problems on physics. For example, we have different kinds of mathematical tools, like we have the um, integration, differentiation, and vectors, functions. So these are different mathematical tools, and we're going to use these mathematical tools to solve the questions on physics. So in today's class, we're going to discuss the concept of a very important mathematical tool, which is the functions. So today we're going to start with functions. So what is function? Mainly we need to understand first the basic concept, how to understand what is functions, and then we can move forward with the next level concepts of functions. Okay. So apart from that, let me to say something more about myself also, that since this is my initial, still I'm not in so much of experienced faculty. I'm doing this as a beginner to teach physics, but I will try to do my level best to make you understand. But I also want all of your support, so that in case if I get stuck somewhere, I hope you will going to ignore, because maybe if required, I will going to explain it again and in a better way. But I hope you will also going to do some kind of like support to me as a students. That's what I want from your side also. Yeah, and don't take me as a like, don't consider me as an expert. But we're going to explore physics, I hope, in a better way. So first, the concept comes of function. Okay, so what is a function? A function is, I can say, it is a rule that connects one quantity to another quantity. For example, if you consider a for example, if you consider two cars, and one car is, I can say, it is damaged and it's not working, and the other car is working. So this damaged car is on the road and now it's not working. The driver is not able to move it forward. So what it does is that it calls in another car which is working, and what that good car or the working car does is that it connects one string with that bad car, and then this working car starts pulling that bad car. So this string that we put between that working car and the bad car, this string somewhat, I can say, this is how a function is, or this, in this case, this string acts like a function. Why this acts like a function? Because, okay, so why the string is acting here like a function? Because uh, there are first of all, it connects two quantities. Here there are, one car is working, consider has to be as one quantity, and another which is not working, consider that to be another quantity. And this string is connecting both these two quantities, and one quantity may be considered the not one not we should not be considering we have to take it the one quantity, which is the working car, is giving the input, that is the power. The working car is giving power, and that what the string does, it gives a tension, and because of that tension is like, I can say, it's a force. The string gives a force to the damaged car, and that damaged car starts moving. So output here is that the damaged car starts moving, and the input is that the input is the power given by the I can say, the power given by the working card. So this string acts here like it is mainly joining, or I can say it is making a kind of connection between two quantities, the input quantities and the output quantities, which helps us to get a definite result. The result is that the car starts moving. So this is what we can say as a concept of function. So there are some other examples I can give to understand function, is that, like, think of it like, consider the function to be like a machine. So what happens in machine? You consider any kind of machine. For example, you consider mixer machine. What happens is that in mixer machines we give some kind of fruits. Then this is like an input. We are giving the fruits as input, and then the machine does the process. That is, it grinds the fruits, and what happens is that we are getting the juice. That is the output. So it applies some kind of rule. In this case of machine, it applies some kind of rule, like there is the rotation of that. I can say. there is the rotation of the wheel that is present inside the, or the, I can say the cutting tool is there inside that mixer machine. So that that mixer machine is applying some kind of rule that it is cutting that fruits, and we are getting as the output that we are getting here is that fruits, the juice we are getting as the output. So here this is somewhat, I can say, this is how we can understand, I can say, preliminary concept to understand the function. Okay, so we have understood till now the mainly the I have shared with you mainly the basic concepts on how to understand the function. So next comes is some of the keywords that we should be understanding in functions. So first keyword is that, wait, let me do. Yeah, so this is what it's written over here. So whatever I told till now, that is, it is mentioned over here. So these are the, so input function is like a rule. So function is like a rule, and mainly it applies a mathematical rule, and it gives us the output. So this is what is mentioned. This is the definition. So here the definition is written in a very easy, I can say, it's written in a very easy way, and the conceptual in a conceptual way. So mainly here what it is written is that a function is simply a rule that connects one quantity input to another quantity output, and that gives us the result. Okay. The next is, okay, so as I told that I'll be telling right now some of the important terms which we should be understanding in function. So first term is the independent variable. So independent variable means in the case that we have taken considered that of the car, that there is one bad car and that one car is working. So the independent variable is the number that we choose. In that case of there are two cars, the car that is working here, that we will going to consider it as an independent variable. Why? Because because the damaged car, we cannot do anything with that, but the independent variable and the working car, it is independent, it can work, so it is acting like an independent. Or we can mathematically the conceptual definition is that those variable where we can give values on our own, we can put some kind of values, the input values, and the function will going to do the process. So if you're going to write like, sorry, if you're going to write y is equal to f of x. So in this, so this is mainly a function. So if you're going to see in this, which one is in independent variable. So this is mainly a function, and we have to see here that we can, in this case, always we can put some kind of values to the x. Here x is the independent variable, always we need to remember. Or the some trick to remember is that whenever मतलब क्या है कि जब भी x जिस वेरिएबल के पहले हम f का साइन लगाएंगे, f फंक्शन का साइन लगाएंगे, इसमें क्या है कि x वेरिएबल के पहले हम लोगों ने f का साइन लगाया, तो जिस वेरिएबल के पहले हम लोग f का साइन लगाएंगे वही हमेशा ही इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल कहलाएगा. इधर x इज द इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल. Or dependent, and the dependent variable is the y. So whatever value of x we're going to put, we're going to get a particular value of y. Means based on the value of x, we're going to get the value of y. So if you're going to take one example like fx is equal to x squared. So obviously this is a function. So किस वेरिएबल के पहले f है, तो x के पहले obviously, so this x is the independent variable, and on x only we are going to put, we have the ability to put values of our choice. So if you're going to take if you put x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, so if you put x is equal to 1, so it will going to be 1. If you put x is equal to 2, it will going to be 4. So in this way, or if you're going to put x is equal to 3, it will going to be, so after doing the functions we are getting 9. So you can write this way. So these values that we are getting 4, 9, all these are the values of y. So on putting x is equal to 4, the value of y will come as 16. Means the function did the process and given the value of y, which is the output, as 16. So this is, and the y here is the dependent variable. So this is function notation. It is written here that we write it as y is equal to fx, where f is the name of the rule or the function. Next concept, which is a very important concept we need to understand, is the domain. So what is domain? So in the previous example that we considered, we have written y is equal to f of x is equal to x squared. So the concept is all allowed input values what we can feed into the machine. Input values means the values that we can give on x. So all the values that we gave in the x. So in the previous example, what are the values we gave? We gave the values of x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So these, we consider these 4 values as to be the domain. And the range is all possible output values what come out of the machine. So the output values that we got after doing the function is, for 1 we got as 1, 2, for 2 we got as 4, for 3 we got as 9, and for 4 we got 16. So the range for these 4 values is what? Is 1, 4, 9, and 16. So this is the range. So if we consider now, if we consider the domain to be a real number, means for x, if x is equal to real number, in that case the range or the value of y will always going to be a whole number. So yes, so what I told is that if the value of x is a real number, in that case always the value of y will going to be a whole number, because if you put x, any real number, you consider any real number, for example, it can be √3, it can be 1, it can be -2. So whatever values you are going to put here, always the value will going to come as it will be a positive number, because there is a square, right? So for -2 also it will going to come as a positive number only. And there is also one value that we can put as 0. So 0 is also a real number. So if you put the real number as 0, in that case the value is going to be 0. So it is a whole number. So in that case the range will always be a whole number. But if the domain or the value of x is not a real number, for example, consider an imaginary number √(-3), which is equal to 3 iota. In this case, the range won't be a whole number, because for this case, for this, as the value of x, the value of y will going to come as what? -3 whole square, which is going to be -3. So this is not a positive or a whole number, this is a negative number. So for non-real number, the range will going to be, in that case we need to consider the negative number only, not the I can say not the positive numbers. So for today's class, till this much. In the next class we're going to see some more important concepts, and I will also going to solve some of the important numericals to understand the function in a better way. Thank you all, thank you for your time, and I hope if you have understood, please give me some comments or any feedback. I hope you're going to give some kind of positive feedback to me, which is going to really help me, since I already told I'm a beginner in teaching. So I hope you're all going to be giving me some kind of good feedback, which is going to help me how I can teach you all in a better way. Thank you all for your time here.